Unit 1 Life of Living Things Chapter 1 Flower Plants Decoration Important Terms Excrete Removal of waste Mild Soft Pollen Fertilizing dust of flowers Germinate To grow Odor Smell Bud Young shoot of a plant Drab Dull brown color Nocturnal, belonging to night, bloom, to bear flowers, fragrance, sweet smell, muted, silent, unable to speak, aromatic, sweet smell. We live in the beautiful world of plants. Plants are an important part of our life. Human beings and animals depend on plants to survive and grow. Plants provide us food to eat, oxygen to breathe, and fibers for clothes. They are our green friends. Let us recall some common characteristics of plants. Plants show movement just like animals. They do so by remaining fixed at one place. Shoots grow upwards while roots spread underground. Opening and closing of petals is a movement visible in flowers. Plants breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen through stomata present in the leaves. The oxygen released by plants helps animals and human beings to breathe and stay alive. Plants are sensitive to light. Flowers of a sunflower plant always bend towards light. Plants have life cycles. They grow from small seed to big trees. After reaching certain age, they die. Plants make their own food using sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, nutrients, and minerals present in the soil. Animals give out waste such as sweat, carbon dioxide, and urine. Similarly, plants excrete water vapor and oxygen. Reproduction is a process through which plants multiply to produce more of their own kind. In plants, reproduction takes place by seeds, spores, and vegetative propagation. Structure of a flower. The parts of any flower are separated into male and female parts and other parts. Male part. Stamen. This is the main part of a flower. It is made up of filament in anther. It is the pollen-producing part of the flower. The number of stamen is usually the same as the number of petals. Anther. This part of stamen produces and contains pollen. It is usually on top of a long stalk that looks like a fine hair. Filament. This is fine hair-like stalk that holds the anther. Female parts. Pistil. This is the female part of the flower. It is made up of stigma, style, ovary, and ovule. Stigma. It is the sticky bulb visible at the center of a flower. It traps and holds the pollen. Pollens germinate on stigma. Style. It is a tube-like structure that holds up the stigma. It leads down to the ovary that contains the ovule. Ovary. It is usually situated at the bottom of the flower. It has seeds present inside them that turn into fruits. Ovule. The part of the ovary that becomes the seed. Other parts. Petal. It is the colorful and bright part of a flower. It attracts pollinators like insects and humans. That is why we buy and enjoy flowers. Sepal. The green and small parts that have leaf-like structure at the base of a flower. It covers the outside of a flower bud for protecting the flower before it blooms. Types of flower. Imperfect flower. A flower that has either all male parts or all female parts, but not both in the same flower is known as an imperfect flower. Examples. The flowers of cucumber, pumpkin, and watermelon. Cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon. Fructoscope. Flowers produce a sweet energy drink called nectar. Perfect flower. A flower that has both male parts and female parts flower is known as perfect flower. Examples: the flowers of rose, lily, and dandelion. Pollinators. Pollinators are the mediums that carry nectar or pollen from one flower to another. Bats, bees, wasps, birds, and butterflies are some common pollinators. By visiting flowers in search of food, nectar and pollen, pollinators help in the reproduction of most flowers. Bats. These nocturnal flying mammals are attracted to flowers that are white or pale in color, large in size, and have strong fruit-like fragrance. Bees and wasps. They have very high energy needs and prefer flowers that are brightly colored, full of nectar, and are aromatic. Beetles. They prefer flowers with lots of pollen, dull white or green in color, and mild in odor. They also eat garden pests. Hummingbirds. These birds are attracted to flowers that are bright and open during the day. They prefer flowers that have little or no odor. Their diet is 90% nectar. Factoscope. If it weren't for pollinators, there would be no chocolate from the cocoa tree. Flies. There are more than 1,000 crops that depend on regular visits from flies, which are key pollinators. They prefer stinky flowers which are pale, dull, or drab in color. Moths. These are nighttime pollinators. They prefer flowers that are shaped like landing pads. Visiting flowers in the dark, they are attracted to strong, sweet, and scented nighttime blooming flowers, muted in color. Pollination. Pollen is the flower's way of making more flowers. They are powdery grains made by the male part of a flower. Plants need both male parts and female parts to make a new seed which grows into a new plant. Plants have both the male and the female parts in a single flower. The male part of the flower makes the pollen. The female part of the flower makes the egg. Factoscope. Pollinators such as bats, bees, and wasps, birds are needed for the production of over 90% of flowering plants and one-third of human food crops. Factoscope. Plants are reproduced by seeds, spores, and vegetative propagation. Pollinators love to drink the sugary sweet nectar that is made by flowers at the base of the pistils. Pollinators move from flower to flower in search of sweet nectar. Pollination is the way through which the pollen from the male part of a flower gets to the egg in the female part of a flower to form a seed. When pollinators go in to suck up the nectar, they brush against one another and get pollen on their bodies. When they land on a flower, the pollen are rubbed off their body onto the pistil. If the pollen ends up near the opening at the top of the pistil, the pollen make their way down the pistil to the egg. When the egg and pollen meet, a seed is formed. A seed has everything it needs to form a new plant. Teacher's note. Discuss with students about different types of pollinators. Fact 5. 1. Bees have sacs on their hind legs to store the pollen and carry it as they fly back to their hive. 2. Beetles make the largest group of pollinators. Let's summarize. 1. Reproduction in plants takes place by seeds, spores, and vegetative propagation. 2. Flowers are separated into male and female parts. 3. Stamen, the male part is made up of anther and filament, form the male part. 4. Pistil, the female part is made up of stigma, style, ovary, and ovules, form the female part. 5. Cucumber, pumpkin, and watermelon have imperfect flowers, whereas rose, lily, and dandelion have perfect flowers. 6. Bats, bees, and wasps, birds, and butterflies are pollinators.